we go.
Weezy out here. Back home smoking legal. I got more slaps than the Beatles. Foreign running on diesel, dog. Playing with my nigga, this lethal, dog. It's just a little 10-piece for it, just to blow it in the mall. Doesn't mean that we involved. I just put a Richard on the card. I ain't going playing ball, but I'll show you how to. Gotta do it if you really wanna fall till you fall when you're back against the wall and a bunch of need you to go away. Still going bad on them anyway. Saw you last night but did it all day. Yeah, a lot of murk coming.
Okay, this one was pretty tricky. All right, so we go from a Twizzler. What we did is we went from a Twizzler, right? We threw it, caught it, and then brought it around our back and threw it on the back side. When we do a Twizzler, you want to make sure that, again, your arms are out and away from your body. You don't want to try and do it in here, okay? When we're coming over, we want to make sure that we're coming over, our arms are extended, we're taking this bottom hand, and we're initially turning our wrist in so that we can crank it out, okay? So notice that the stick head is going that way, okay? So we're turning our wrist in, cranking out, and then pulling towards the wall. You have to make sure that your butt end's pushing out as your top hand's pushing in. So you could first practice that Twizzler movement, and then you want it to come back same side, right? So we're practicing this, Twizzler, throw it, ball comes back same side, and you could slide your hand up a little bit to make it easier if you don't have as much control yet. This is really hard. Moving your hands up a little easier. Catch it here, throw it around your back, here, and then try and catch it more. So if you're a righty, it might actually be easier to start with it in your left hand and do the Twizzler lefty, okay? So that way when you throw it and the ball comes back, you have your right strong hand up at the top, all right? And we can slide it up a little bit if you want and toss it around our back. If your right hand's stronger, it's gonna be a little bit easier to get the first time around. When we do sidearm, it's mostly because we are trying to pass around the defender, right? If we're feeding or just in the midfield or whatever, or even if we're trying to take a shot around somebody. So it's important that we fake first, okay? We do this little hitch fake. Notice it's just my top hand that's pushing out, okay? So we're gonna do that little hitch fake, and then we're gonna step around our defender. So this is when we're not actually stepping with our opposite foot. We're actually stepping same foot, pretending that there's a defender in front of us, and we have to step around them, okay? Then when it comes to the throw, you wanna make sure that your arms are out away from your body and that you can handle the stick out here. What a lot of people get in the habit of is trying to push from here. But in order to throw a good sidearm pass, you have to be able to handle the stick out here, okay? You want to make sure you're really getting your elbows away from your body, not in tight. And when we go to throw, all right, my butt end is pulling back in towards me, just as if I was to do a regular pass, okay? So we want to bring our stick out and then pull, okay? So it would look like this. All right, so we're pitch faking, stepping around, and then pulling through. Okay. So back of the stick quick sticks are really to work on your soft hands, okay? We really want to make sure we have good cushion on the ball so it works on our soft hands. It really makes you focus on cushioning it in. All right, so that's why we do that. So we want to make sure we're really cushioning it every time. Anytime we do quick stick, we want to let that momentum of the ball bring our stick back, and the butt end comes up and we throw it right back. Okay, what you can try is what I did before, where we're throwing, and then we're catching normal, throwing, twisting, catching, backside. Okay, so you can try to mess with that and get the stick going in your hands. Again, try that on the right and the left side. We want to make sure that we're practicing on our offside too. It's not always as easy as, you know, having your dominant hand on your strong side. So you want to be able to control the ball over here too. Okay, so the one thing we did is I threw it and I caught it on this side, and then I cradled and brought it back. Okay, so catch, throw, catch offside, and then cradle, and then bring it back over. Okay, so work on that cradling, handling over here, and then bringing it back over. All right, so when we do quick sticks over here, whether front or back of the stick, notice how my arms are away from my body, and I'm actually choking up a little bit to make it easier. You can keep your hands down here, but it's, you know, sometimes a little more control choking up your stick. So your arms are out, okay? They're not like in tight right here, because then you can't really pull. If you're up here and you got space, you have plenty of room to pull, and there's a lot of space, and I'm able to really get a nice pass and direct it with my wrist rather than being in here and just pushing. Okay, you really want to make sure you can use that bottom hand. Also on this side of our body, we want to work on quick sticks on the back of our stick too. Okay, so not just on our strong side, but on our off side. So we're keeping it in our right hand, and we're going to put the ball in the back of our stick to start, and then we can throw here, throwing, really working on those soft hands. It sometimes takes your knees. You got to really bend in your knees, give with your arms and your whole body to really make sure you're giving with that pass. Okay, and then to mix things up, you can try what we did on the other side, and catch over here, throw it back, twist your stick, catch normal, throw it back, okay, and try and mess with that to make it more advanced. We also did pretzel twists, okay. I like to call them pretzel twists. I don't know what other people call them, but it's when we do this. All right, so we want to make sure that we're choking up on our stick for this, and we're just taking our hands, our wrists, and we're turning them in. The stick goes in right towards our armpit, okay. So we want to choke up on our stick, hands really close together. All right, bringing our stick in and then coming out, adjusting that top hand, and then coming back here. Okay, so once you start to get that movement, you can start to move your actual feet a little bit with it and get playful, almost as if you're going to dodge like that. Not that you would ever do that in a game, okay? But it's fun to practice. So faking somebody out this way and then coming back to the right. Okay, again, faking, coming back, and pulling out. Okay. Same thing on the left side. Faking, coming out, pulling back.